Hi guys, I think it has been a long while um, since I last talked about the stock market. So today I would like to give an update on um, not really the stock market, but just to have a general discussion about the global stock market and um, the and investing as a general. All right. So let me start off with so over here, right? So actually my interactive brokers account. So this is my account, and by the way, you don't see the numbers reflected here because I would like to keep this secret at the moment because I really don't want my viewers to know my net worth. Okay, because if my net worth is too huge, like in millions and billions, and this generally attracts very unpleasant human emotions like envy, which I don't like to um, draw attention to, right? And then if this net liquidity, which is roughly my net worth, and which if it's too low, so um, it also attracts another very unpleasant human emotion. So people will laugh at me and people will look down on me. So I would like to keep these numbers secret at the moment. So over here you don't see a lot of numbers. Okay, but I would like to draw your attention to this chart. Okay, so this is a chart of 1 year. So in fact, you can see that I click. Okay, this is year today YTD. But actually, I would like you to look at my portfolio performance. Okay, um, within 1 year. Okay, so it started from last 17 last year. Okay, 2021. So my portfolio was I would say was set up with interactive brokers since last August. Okay, and you can see that most of the time, okay, throughout this 1 year since last August, in fact, if you look at the scale here, okay, over here is in terms of percentage. So throughout this 1 year, you can see that it's mostly underwater. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, so probably I should just grab this chart out and I can explain it on PowerPoint. Then you can actually um, understand it a little bit more than I do it with just the web page here. Right? So let me just launch PowerPoint. So it's loading. It takes a while, so just bear with me. Okay, so here it is. So I just drag this screenshot over. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So um, you can look at this chart. Okay, let me just pick a light color because the background is dark, so it's good to do with white color. So in fact, my portfolio started last August. Okay, last August, and most of the time, okay, within this 1 year till today, you can see that my portfolio actually was underwater. So what I mean by that, okay? So in investing industry, underwater, at a paper loss, okay, losing money, okay. So the biggest, okay, so I would like to draw your attention to this, okay, over here. Okay, so over here, right, this line, right, is negative 15%. So over here, anything that hits this line here, right, is actually a loss of 15%, right? So a loss of 15%. So if I have $1 million, so let's assume I start with $1 million here. So 15% paper loss is I lost 150k. Okay, if it hits this line, but I think you can see that my portfolio, okay, it hits very close to this point. Okay, it hit very close to this point at one point. Okay, and that happened between September and October last year. Okay, and and you can actually look at the chart here, and I don't see any pattern here. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you, okay, I see a pattern here. No, there is no pattern. So basically I'm presenting you with facts. Okay, the facts were, so my portfolio hit very close to a minus 15% between September and October last year. And once again, okay, it dipped below. So over here, I guess it's the 10%. Yeah, so over here is the minus 10% paper loss line. Okay, so at more than how many occasions? So this is the first occasion, so I consider this is the second, and then this is the third, and then this is the fourth. So on more than 4 occasions, okay, my portfolio actually hit more than 10% below, yeah, below my original sum. Okay, so I had minus 10% paper loss on more than 4 occasions within the last 1 year. Okay, and then you can actually see that, hey, quite recently, and then my portfolios, okay, started to have a very modest gain over here. Okay, I guess it's just a 1% gain or something like that. Okay, so it's a very modest gain. But what I'm trying to show you here is, throughout the last 1 year, my portfolio majority of the time was underwater, and quite recently, okay, it bounced back from losses to have a very modest gain. Okay, so I'm not trying to tell you from here onwards my portfolio is going to perform very well, or my portfolio is going to underperform. Okay, actually I don't know. Okay, I'm actually presenting you the facts for the last 1 year of my portfolio's performance. Okay, I'm presenting you with the facts. Okay, so please bear in mind. Okay, please bear in mind. Okay, so another thing I want to show you here is, let's go back to this chart. Okay, in fact, over here I actually choose the benchmark. Okay, so one of the most widely used benchmark is the S&P 500 stock index. So I'm going to use that. Okay, so you can start to see how my portfolio in red performed for the past 1 year against the S&P 500 index. Okay, so I'm going to capture this out again, and I'm going to explain this. Most likely I should just, yes, so let me just do it one more time. Okay, and I'm going to talk about it with PowerPoint, because I prefer to talk about it in PowerPoint. Okay, so I'm going to just drag this screenshot over to this. Okay, so over here you have the my portfolio. You can see my portfolio in red. Okay, and the S&P 500 index is in blue. Okay, so you can actually see that. Okay, if I pick this point, which is last August, for both the S&P 500 in blue, this is the S&P 500 index, and over here the red is my portfolio. Okay, so you can see that I don't claim to see a pattern here, but I would like to show you that, okay, within this 1 year, right, you can see that the so I will say from last August till here, which is what, which is I will say end Jan of 2022. Okay, you can see that my portfolio actually underperformed the S&P 500 by a lot. Okay, because you can see that S&P 500 actually have paper gain here. Okay, by the way, over here this is the 0%. line, okay, which means anything above is a paper gain, anything below is a paper loss, okay. So most of the time, between last August and end Jan of 2022, the S&P 500 outperformed my portfolio by a lot, okay. So but since then, right, since the end Jan of 2022, I think you can start to see that the S&P 500 actually start to decline, right? Can you see the blue line? And I think from then on, my portfolio somehow recover nicely and then start to climb, okay. And actually, um, as of today, my portfolio had a modest gain, which I talked about in the last slide, and the S&P 500 actually is having I guess it's close to minus 15% as of now, while my portfolio is actually having a modest gain of roughly 1%. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you here is this. Okay, um, the market can be very unpredictable and volatile. Okay, so those who claim that they know what the market is going to perform, they're actually lying to you. Okay, and I'm not trying to tell you how the market is going to perform from now on. Okay, now on means today is what? Today is 30th June of 2020. I'm not going to claim that I know the market is going to go up or the market is going to go down from here onwards. Okay, but I have confidence in my portfolio. Okay, so I believe personally in my portfolio. Okay, it's going to perform better than S&P 500 in the long run. Okay, I really have confidence in my portfolio. Okay, so for the past 1 year, you can actually see that my portfolio underperformed S&P 500 between last August and end Jan. Okay, as you can see, my portfolio is actually below the S&P 500. But from end Jan of 2022 onwards, my portfolio started to outperform the S&P. Okay, so in fact, I really take this, uh, take the performance of my portfolio with pride. Okay, because I think it's it's not easy to beat the S&P 500 index. Okay, it's really hard to beat the index, by the way. Okay, so even the professionals, they can't beat the index. Okay, so um, as a I call myself a value investor, and I'm really committed to value investing. So I I I I I feel proud of my portfolio. Okay, so I will continue to hold on to my portfolio of stocks. I'm confident in the stocks I'm holding, so I wish to continue to hold on to my portfolio for the really long term. And what do I mean by that? By long term, I mean I'm going to hold on to my portfolio for the next 5 to 10 years, at least. Okay, and in fact, I would like to hold on to my portfolio and pass on my portfolio to my next generations. Okay, that's my goal. Okay, so besides talking about my portfolio against the S&P 500, so probably I would like to talk about DAX, the U.S. market today. Okay, so let's look at the U.S. market as of now. Okay, so the S&P 500 is actually hovering at the 3800s level, so it's slightly below that tonight. And so if you look at the market right now, it's mostly green. Or by the way, uh, uh, don't don't look at the colors, okay, and assume that uh, because green means gain in the US. But over here, right, focus on the sign in front of the percentage or the sign in front of the numbers. If you see negative, it means loss. If you see positive, in this case, it means gain. Okay, so tonight, if you see a lot of losses among the stocks that I have watch listed. Okay, so Looks like tonight is another bad night, okay, for most of the stocks I have watch listed. But still, if you look at the S&P 500, it's still at the 3700 level, which is like um, it's still in the bear market level, okay. So I'm not going to uh, um, discuss more on this because I think I have discussed the S&P 500 in the bear market in my previous episode. Alright, so if you want to know more, please look out for that video. Okay, but tonight, what I want to talk about tonight is actually if you look at Bitcoin tonight, right? If you look at Bitcoin, so I do a search. So Bitcoin right now is actually below the 19,000 USD level per Bitcoin. Okay, so for Bitcoin, right? So you can see that. Okay, if you have not listened to my this stock market trash talk before, and actually Bitcoin peaked at this 64,000 level last November, and from then on it started to crash until today. So if you draw a line here, and you see that yes, so Bitcoin had percent drop since the peak last November. Okay, and right now is at this 18,000 USD level. Okay, so I don't know how Bitcoin is going to perform from now on, but um, I think you can see that those people who bought into Bitcoin at this point, which is the peak, which is 64,000 USD level, and they lost close to 70 plus percent of their money. Okay, so by the way, I'm not a foreman. I think you can see that a lot of shit is happening in the Bitcoin street right now. Okay, so my understanding of it is there are a lot of crypto brokerages that actually at close to bankruptcy. Okay, but that triggers another. Okay, but anything is possible for Bitcoin because basically Bitcoin for me is an unproductive nonsense um, shit. Okay, sorry to call it shit, but to me crypto is shit. Okay, I have no idea which one will win out in the long term. Okay, I understand that the blockchain industry, I mean the blockchain technology is is doing some good to human beings. Okay, or is serving uh, a lot of people very well in the future, but I am not sure which uh, coin will. The reason why I stay away from Bitcoin. And by the way, I have no knowledge in Bitcoin. Okay, or I would like to say I have a very flimsy or passing knowledge of Bitcoin, so it's better for me to just shut up and stop here. Okay, stop the discussion about Bitcoin here. Okay, so uh, okay, so tonight is not a very good night, but um, looking at the market right now, yeah. So at this level, I mean S&P 500 3700 level, I will just nibble a little bit every now and then that's about it. Okay, that's my strategy right now. Okay, um, um, I have mentioned a few times before. I have had substantial amount of holdings already, so I will not add on to it uh, aggressively until it hit um, the 3200 level for the S&P 500 index. All right, so yes, so yeah, that okay. So in fact, I think there is another thing I would like to talk about. Okay, in Singapore. Okay, in the context of Singapore. So I just look at okay, so if one of my friends, okay, so he sent me this. Okay, he sent me this. Um, so he sent me this uh this um this screenshot of the mortgage loan rates in Singapore at the moment. Okay, so let me just take a screenshot of this and then just discuss it on PowerPoint. Okay, good. So in fact, you can see that over here you have DBS, OCBC, and UOB. These are the three local banks in Singapore. Okay, so right now the mortgage rate or home loan rate in Singapore right now is actually okay. If you look at it, right, you look at this. Okay, you look at this. I will say, um, I will say is average. If you average these numbers, I think I will say that is at maybe 2.8% per year. Okay, so that's the mortgage rate over here. Okay, so 2.8% per year. What is so special, or what is so what is the big deal here, right? So in fact, at 2.8% per year mortgage loan rate. So I think it's good to go to there is a link over here I would like to use to demonstrate to you what is the big deal here if mortgage rate is at 2.8% per year. Okay, so let me just look at the link. Okay, over here. So, oh, by the way, so these right now is 2022. Okay, I still remember the first time I took my mortgage loan was in 2014. Okay, so the loan rate, the loan rate over then, then was at about 1.3% per year. Okay, so in fact you can see that it's at least double. Okay, it's at least double. So let's see the impact. Okay, let's see the impact. Okay, when the loan rate double. Okay, let's see the impact to the home loan carriers. Okay, which I think a majority of the people. Okay, so over here in Singapore, we took we take loans, we take mortgage loans to buy our houses. Okay, most of us, and generally the mortgage loans generally in the tenure of 25 to 30 years. Okay, so it's a very very long tenure. Okay, decades long tenure. Okay, so in fact you can actually look at this. Okay, so I'm going to just I know how much I'm okay, so let's just try this. Okay, so I'm looking at a property price of $500,000. Let's go for $500,000. So that's the I'm not saying this is a average price. Okay, but I think this is a good figure to start with. Okay, HDB, Hexi condo, and condo. So HDB is public housing in Singapore. So most of Singaporeans, their first choice is HDB. Okay, so I just choose HDB, then go next. And then buying my first home. Okay, I would like to purchase a new property on my own with my partner. Okay, so just on my own first. Okay, next. And then I am a Singaporean. Yep. So my age. Okay, let's start off with 30. Okay, let's assume that okay, for an undergraduate or for a graduate from one of the local universities, I estimate that the current gross monthly income is about, I will say, 4,000. Okay, and then I assume that yeah, as a fresh grad you have no credit card debt and you don't need to pay other debts as well, so just yeah, run. Okay, over here, right, so you can see that um um over here you can see that so what do you see here? Okay, let me see if this is enough for me to okay, by the way, I think I picked the wrong one, because this one does not tell me the impact of a a a double a interest rate hike from 1.3% to 2.8%. Okay, so I need to start from scratch again. Okay, so I need to start from scratch again. So let me just use this link again. Okay, so I think this is the one so I'm looking at the monthly. Okay, down payment as a down payment. Let's see my maximum loan amount. Oh, that's the repayment calculator. Yeah, this is the one I should look at. Yep, so loan amount. So let's look at a loan amount of half a million. Okay, and So at an interest rate of 1.3%, okay, 1.3%, which was in 2014. So yes, so you get a what? So if you look at this, you will pay off your home loan by year. So yeah, I have chosen 25 years and with a total of in interest and this. So with a 1.3% mortgage loan rate, okay, this okay looks like I can do. Okay, yes, I can do a comparison here, right? So you can see the existing interest rate. So just assume that the existing interest rate was 1.3%, which was in 2014. And I'm going to loan this for 25 years. And like I say, right now, right now the mortgage rate is at 2.8%, right? So I'm going to loan this for 25 years as well. Okay, so if you look at this, right, you can see that actually, okay, if you pick 1.3% for the mortgage rate for 25 years, the monthly installment is actually about $2,000. Okay, but with the hike in interest rate to 2.8% for 25 years, okay, so the new monthly installment will be 2.3K. Okay, so the difference between these two is close to $400 per month. Okay, so what is $400 per month? Okay, so you have to take 400 over this over this close to $2,000. That's close to, in a way, right? So regardless of, let's not talk about inflation in food prices, petrol prices, and prices of all other stuff. Okay, just the mortgage loan repayment every month itself. So you have a 20% more. Okay, you have a 20% more. Okay, so in fact, with this, right, with this rate hike in the mortgage loan from 1.3% in 2014, and right now it's 2.8%, which I believe the loan rate for mortgage, okay, which is 22.8% right now, I foresee it to go up further, okay, and most likely it will hit more than 3% by the year end, okay, which is very likely. So with inflation, okay, in food prices, with inflation at record high globally, so food prices, petrol prices, and even mortgage rate, okay, especially mortgage rate, you can look at the mortgage rate right now. So we have a 20%, okay, hike in mortgage rate, and this is quite serious. Okay, so I will say that life is going to be pretty hard, okay, for Singaporeans, okay, for most of the Singaporeans. Top 1%, I don't think they will feel the hit anyway, okay, but for most of the Singaporeans, with this $400 more per month, okay, which is 20%, okay, which is 20% more, okay, in their monthly housing loan payment. I think it's going to really bite into
It's 22 hours.
it really is going to really bite into our